lines are tough in this league, as we see every week throughout the league. I thought, again, after watching the tape, did a nice job defensively. Offensively, we shot ourselves in the foot with penalties and turnovers. We get those straight, and you got a pretty good thing going, but we got to take care of business there. And that's something we can work on throughout the week. There's really no injuries to talk about right now. I'll get together with Rick here later today, but anyways, yeah, I'll leave that up to you. You guys fire away. Time's yours.
Let's go first to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hello, Coach. Thanks for the time. I just wanted to ask you, in terms of evaluating the offense through 2 games, is there a certain issue that you've pinpointed that you want to prioritize most over everything you've seen so far?
Yeah, well, I think us not making the mistakes on our side. I mean, you had 12 penalties, you had 3 turnovers. I mean, you can't do that. Or 2 turnovers, but you can't do that and normally come out with a win. I mean, so you figure that out, and we straighten it out. We should be okay. But I think as you look at it, the players look at it, and I listen to them talk. Things are there. You look at it on tape, things are there, but we're going backwards instead of forward. And if you look at percentages, even with a 5-yard penalty, percentages of scoring on a drive with a penalty is slim to none. We've been able to do that probably better than anybody in the league, but you're getting these multiples put together here, and that's it's too much.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, I was wondering in your review of the game, I know you talked a little bit about it yesterday, but after watching the film, how you felt Juwan responded to take out for a brief, number of plays and then going back in, and what's giving you the sense that he can get, right back on the horse and be okay here?
He's a good football player. He's naturally quick, without having to cheat on that thing or get caught on it. And, and he's strong, so he doesn't need to do that. And he's a smart kid. I mean, we can fix it. He's been doing this for a number of years, so, and he works extremely hard at it, but it's once you've had 3 of them in a row or so and they don't get called, and you have the same crew coming in, there are a new crew coming in, they're gonna have an eye on you, and so you've got to back up. He's got to back up and start over on this and just slow it down. He's plenty quick to take care of that.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. As you know, Spagnuolo told us in the couple weeks leading up to the Detroit game that the defense might be a work in progress, that maybe you guys were still figuring out some things there, and that maybe it wasn't going to be quite where you wanted when the season started. But I'm thinking you're probably pretty happy with how they played through 2 games. So my question for you is the defense ahead of where you thought it would be at this point? I know it's early, and if so, some of the reasons why. And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
I think Spags and the coaches, Joe, David, Flage, Brendan, I mean, they've all done just a heck of a job there. Donald, they've all done a great job there. Spags has set up and put the guys in great positions, but then the guys have an energy and a confidence that wasn't there with all the young guys last year. We didn't really know what the secondary was going to be, and the guys they're figuring it out. They figured it out at training camp, and they figured it out here these 2 games with good communication in that. So I like the way I like the physical part of it, and it was also good to get Chris back in there. He's a disruptive guy, man, and he came in with a good attitude. He got himself 34 plays, about half the game, and so it was good to have him back in there going.
Okay. And one more Juwan Taylor question. he's been in the league in a few years, but he never had, to my knowledge, a game like he had yesterday. How can you explain that with him?
Yeah, so well, you're gonna have a lot of eyes on you when you come here, first of all, and the week before on the Thursday game, it was publicized and scrutinized, and so now all of a sudden you put the officials on red alert, and rightly so. It wasn't like they were off on the calls that they had on them this week. So, and it was the same crew that worked training camp. They know, you know, they could see it there, and they saw it firsthand here. So it's they were going to call it. Jawan was aware of that. I mean, he knows, and he tried to tame it down a little bit, but you know, as the game went on, it got him there. So
Next to Jesse Newell. Go, Jesse.
Hey, Andy, I just wanted to ask you about what you saw on tape from the 3rd and 6 from Patrick. Looked like he got through his progressions quite a bit. Just wanted the film tell you about that play, the one late to Sky Moore.
yeah, so defense did a pretty good job there on that. Sky was on the backside of it and continued to run. The DB, the corner that was covering him there, kind of stumbled a little bit, but the main thing was Sky continued to run and play. And quietly, Sky had a really good football game. He had some great plays. You saw the trust that Patrick has in him on the touchdown. You saw the trust he had him on that play to go find him, and for Sky to get into his vision there. So but that's kind of what it was. You know, Pat started moving, and Sky was headed in that direction anyways. That was part of the route, but he could have easily pulled off, and he didn't. He fought like crazy to get himself in position there.
Go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, like Adam said earlier, Spags has talked about sometimes needing a first quarter of the season to figure out what he has and rotations, those kinds of things. Do you ever go through that on the offensive side too? We're so used to this offense, you know, coming out of the box hot. But do you, with new faces, everything, sometimes going into the season, still not enough to know exactly what you have and how to best use it and what your best rotations are?
Well, you know, I mean, I think I know what we have. We can't have the mistakes. You know, that's so I would tell you, I got a pretty good feel of what we have, but I don't like what we're doing. How's that? So I'm not big on turnovers, and I'm not big on penalties, and we've got too many of them right now.
Go next to Todd Palmer. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Andy, I was kind of curious. You know, the run defense was a little bit leaky in that Detroit game, but they really seemed to shore things up against a pretty good back in Travis Etienne. And obviously, some of it was the game dictating it, but the growth you're seeing there and the impact guys like George Karlaftis have, I just wonder what you see from them in the run game.
Yeah, listen, George's hard work off of the field this offseason has helped him. He put on a little bit of weight, good weight, worked his tail off with Tamba, and so the one that kind of gets washed out on this is Nadi. I think Nadi really played a pretty good football game this past week, and he's a stout guy in there. And then, I mean, I think that would probably be the primary thing for the run. Then the scheme and who you're going against. You have all those different matchups. So, but I thought our guys played well inside. Yeah.
We'll last to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
And I'll have a follow-up, Brad. Travis Kelce, it was hot. I know down in Florida, he got a little bit hot. We haven't seen kind of that side of him for a while, just a combination of fighting through injuries or tough day, anything in particular that seemed to be getting under his skin?
Yeah, Travis was fighting Travis. I mean, it was hot. He was getting butched, we call it, where they try to bang you up there one way or another. And, he's trying to get back in the flow. And so he is a perfectionist, this guy. And if he feels he's off a tick, then he's going to try to battle through and get himself in the right mindset to keep fighting through it. So, and he did. You got to give him credit. He battled through the thing. He made some big catches for us. And he made it through the game after missing the first one. So, and I'm sure his leg probably didn't feel 100%, but he's not going to let you know that, and he's going to work through it, and that's what he did.
And then Kadarius Toney, we talked to him last week, and one of the things he said that you told him just calm down. He seems to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour all the time. I'm just curious what you thought about. Was he able to calm down? Is that something he's still working on?
Unlike you and me, man, he has no fat on his body. This guy can go forever. He is high octane, and you saw that. I mean, relentless. But I think he's just getting, Seren, I think he's just getting back in the swing of this thing. I think as the game went on, I think the heat got to him a little bit, and he slowed down, but that will help him down the road here. Just a reminder on the training camp part, no training camp, nothing there. So he was fighting through that, and he wasn't on a pitch count yesterday. That he was the first game, he wasn't this game. So he'll keep working through it as we go.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys, let me hit our button here.